Right, hi guys, we're going to carry on with our story, The Wizards of Once by Cressida Cowell, and we left it that Wish had just found Tsar in the Queen's dungeons, and they were just about to help him escape, and Bumbleboozle came zooming in to say that Queen Sycorax was on her way. So let's find out what happens. Chapter 16. A really bad moment for Queen Sycorax to turn up. Queen Sycorax is coming, said Bodkin, just about managing not to faint again. She mustn't find me here, squealed Wish, absolutely petrified. It was one thing to secretly decide that she wanted to be friends with a wizard. It was quite another to be found by her mother in the act of not just sympathising with the enemy, but actively unlocking their cell and helping them escape. Don't worry, said Tsar. Hide, and I'll deal with her. I'll be polite this time, I promise. Give me the sword and lock the door behind you. Be nice to her, Tsar, warned Wish, throwing Tsar the enchanted sword. Trust me, grinned Tsar. Bodkin and Wish ran out of the room and hid round the corner in desperate haste, for from the sound of her footsteps, Queen Sycorax was approaching at quite a speed. She was coming to offer Tsar one last chance to see sense and get his sprite to the stone that takes away magic in time to save his life. Surely even a wizard boy with no conscience at all would not want his sprite to die. But Tsar was proving to be unacceptably obstinate. She was alarmed to find that she'd lost her key. Luckily, she had a spare. Furious to see her sentry fast asleep, and as soon as she set foot in the dungeon, she sensed something had gone wrong. Queen Sycorax knew every noise that went on in her underground home, every drip of water, every muffled moan from her prisoners, every tap of the guard, every flicker of candle, every line of song, ghost or sprite, was familiar to Queen Sycorax. There was something awry. She knew it. She moved up from her normal glide to a most unaccustomed actual run, so that her footsteps made quite a racket in those echoing corridors. If Bumbleboozle had not warned them, Sycorax would have caught her daughter in the act of aiding and abetting the enemy. But Bodkin and Wish had whisked round their corner in the nick of time, locking the door again behind them. So when Queen Sycorax unlocked the door of cell number 445 and swept in with a regal swish of her rich red cloak, Tsar was standing in the middle of the room, as if nothing had happened, the enchanted sword behind his back. What is going on? Panted Queen Sycorax. Nothing, said Tsar innocently. Wondered Queen Sycorax disbelievingly, her eyes ranging suspiciously all over Tsar, for she did not trust him for 1 second. This is your last chance, Tsar, son of Encanzo, snapped Queen Sycorax. I will not come back again tonight, and your sprite will be dead by morning. Where is my sword? Would this be the sword that you're talking about? Said Tsar thoughtfully, taking the sword out from behind his back. Queen Sycorax went absolutely rigid with shock. A low growling behind her, and 3 enormous snowcats with teeth like kitchen knives were slowly, menacingly creeping out of the shadows. How were they unchained from the wall? Breathed Sycorax, as white as her dress. Who brought you my key? And where did you get my sword? Never you mind, but don't move, Queen Sycorax, said Tsar, or I will kill you with this sword. That beastly boy. She should have brought guards with her, but the guards had thoroughly searched him, so she thought she was perfectly safe visiting an unharmed little boy and a few sprites, all safely locked up in her most secure cell. Sycorax's hand crept towards her waistband, where her own sword was hanging. I said, don't move, said Tsar, and there was a gleam in his eye that made Queen Sycorax halt. Wizards were generally a peaceable people, but Tsar was not like most wizards the Queen had ever met. So Tsar, son of Encanzo, spat Queen Sycorax, infuriated to find the tables had been turned on her. What are you going to do now that you've burgled my sword? I'm going to take my sprite to the stone that takes away magic, said Tsar, and then I'm going to release the giants and other magic prisoners that you have wickedly locked up here. and we can all escape from this fort of dullness and iron turnip heads and go back to Wizard Camp where we belong. You will be arrested as soon as you leave these dungeons, said Queen Sycorax. Giants are rather visible, and this fort is swarming with guards. But you're a tricky, wicked queen with a lot of secrets, said Tsar, so I bet you have a secret exit to these dungeons, and a secret password too. Perhaps I do, said Queen Sycorax dryly, but it is highly unlikely I would tell you about either in the circumstances. How about if I strike you a bargain, just like you offered me one, said Tsar craftily. If you tell me the way to the chamber of magic removal and the way to the secret exit and also the secret password, I will leave you this sword. Queen Sycorax was delighted, although she didn't show it. She really, really wanted that sword, especially now that witches had returned to the forest. The boy thought he was so clever, but he obviously didn't realise the importance of that particular enchanted sword to offer it up so easily. I accept your bargain, said Queen Sycorax smoothly. The way to the Chamber of Magic Removal is... Oh, no, interrupted Tsar. No, please stop there, Queen Sycorax. He reached into his waistcoat and withdrew a small bottle. Apparently, queens can tell lies, in pursuit of a higher good, of course. So I'm afraid you're going to have to tell me the answer while holding the Love Never Lies potion, so I know you're telling me the truth. Queen Sycorax gave him a look of the purest dislike. Tsar handed her the Love Never Lies potion. The way to the Chamber of Magic Removal is to turn right and go down the corridor, and it's the 7th door in the Great Cavern, and from there you can reach the secret exit by turning left at every second turning, and the secret password is control, said Queen Sycorax. Tsar made her say it twice to check the love potion wasn't changing colour, but it remained red, so she must be telling him the truth. He took the Love Never Lies potion from her. And now I'll leave you the sword, said Tsar, holding up the Love Never Lies potion so that Queen Sycorax could see it clearly. And as soon as he said those words, the liquid inside turned blacker than soot. Whoops, said Tsar happily. Dear, oh dear, how confusing. It appears that I was lying, grinned Tsar. It's so difficult to keep up, isn't it? Tricked. The horrible little wizard boy had tricked Sycorax into giving him the secret password, and he was going to take the sword away. It is always annoying for a very tricky person like Queen Sycorax to finally meet someone even trickier than herself. So Queen Sycorax lost her temper. It was most unlike her, but it had been a very trying day. You rude, lying, disobedient trickster of a boy, shouted Queen Sycorax. Now, tutted Tsar. Be polite, Queen Sycorax. Insults will get you nowhere. Please could you very kindly lend me your keys and your cloak as well? I think it would be helpful for me to disguise myself as you so that your guards let us leave without a fuss. Thank you so much. With gritted teeth, Queen Sycorax handed him her keys to all the cells and her very distinctive bright red cloak lined snugly with royal black and white fur. You have to admit, continued Tsar, putting Queen Sycorax's magnificent cloak round his shoulders, a boy of destiny like me does need a really cool weapon that is magic mixed with iron. I'm not surprised you're so keen on this sword. It's something quite out of the ordinary. Sycorax gave a smile made out of icicles. I'm afraid I'm going to have to lock you in your own cell, said Tsar apologetically. It's not exactly suitable for royalty, but you are a very wicked queen to have taken away the magic of my people and kept us prisoners and threatened to kill my sprite. You need to be taught a lesson, and that is what a prison is for. Can I do her hair, Tsar? Begged Bumbleboozle. Please, can I do her hair? She's been so mean to poor Squeezeshoes. Oh, all right, said Tsar, but do it gently. Bumbleboozle flew into the Queen's hair, and in 2 snaps of a ladybird's wing, she had whipped it up into a creatively complicated rat's nest of tangles. Sycorax was standing absolutely still and white and bone-deadedly with anger. Bumbleboozle buzzed backwards to survey her handiwork with satisfaction. Above, Sycorax's pointed with freezing rage face, so dignified, so regal, so tidy, so furious, her beautiful pure waterfall of controlled golden tresses was now shooting upward in a vertical mess of scrambled electricity, like a fur ball having a fit. "Oh, that's good, very good," hissed Tiffinstorm in malicious delight, and the sprites nearly fell out of the air, they were laughing so hard. "Those Owlflocks will take weeks to brush out." "And while you are brushing them, it will help you remember," cautioned Zar, "to leave us magic people alone in the future." "And I warn you," spat Queen Sycorax, every word a cold white arrow, "never to set foot in my territory ever again, or by the gods of the trees and water, I swear I shall make you regret it." "You'll have to catch me first," grinned Zar. Then he said, "Goodbye, Queen Sycorax," giving her a very low bow, and he and the Snowcats and the sprites and Caliburn swept towards the door. Zar with a very satisfactory royal swish of Sycorax's own cloak. Just as Zar was about to leave the chamber, he had a thought, and he turned. By the way, I didn't really mean it about being soft," said Zar. "You are just as tough as a warrior queen ought to be." He ran out of the door, and Bodkin, waiting, hidden by the doorway, locked the door of the chamber behind him. Leaving Sycorax all alone in cell number 445, thoughtfully adjusting her armour. She had a lot to think about. "You were very mean to my mother," scolded Wish, once they were out of earshot. "I was very polite," protested Zar. "I said nice things about how tough she was." "You said she was a very wicked queen, and Bumbleboozle really messed up her hair," said Wish in awed horror. "She's going to be absolutely hopping mad, isn't she, Bodkin?" "Absolutely hopping," said Bodkin gloomily. "I was very merciful," said Zar. "If she wasn't your mother, I'd have killed her. Now, what did she say about the way to the Chamber of Magic Removal?" "Right down this corridor, and then it's the 7th door in the Great Cavern," said Bodkin promptly. They were riding on the backs of the Snowcats, down through corridors that led them deeper, ever deeper underground, so low that the air was shiveringly cold, and a trembling Wish lay down further and further into Forest Heart's thick fur coat. Zar could feel Squeezes had gone rigid inside the package above his heart. If they didn't get him to this stone quickly, they would lose him entirely. The corridor eventually opened up into a great cavern, lit by flickering torchlight. Tiffinstorm gave a horrified hiss and ducked behind Zar. "It's over there," she hissed. There were 7 doors leading off the cavern, and the 7th door had a faded sign above it, saying Chamber of Magic Removal. The doorway was crooked and not as large as they might have expected. If a giant wanted its magic removed, it would have to lie down in the cavern and stretch its arm through the door. A strange magnetic force seemed to want to pull Zar towards that crooked door, like an ice-cold wind tugging him, and then he realised it was the sword hanging beside him, twisting round and pointing at the door as if it were an iron finger. Every single instinct in Zar's bones was telling him, "Run away, go no further, stop here." Night Eye and Forest Heart and King Cat paced in anxious circles, growling and spitting and howling. "Don't go in there, don't go in there, don't go in there, don't go in there," hissed the sprites. "But we have to go in," said Wish, getting down off Forest Heart's back. "For the sake of the sprite," said Zar, springing off King Cat. Wish put the key in the keyhole, and the door to Sycorax's Chamber of Magic Removal swung open. Will it be in time to save Squeezes? Right, so we'll find out tomorrow if they're able to remove the witch's blood from Squeezes and from Zar. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.